What's up, Facebook? Ty Crandall here with Credit Suite, and today we're going to be diving in and talking more about building your business credit. So I missed you all last week because I was actually at Traffic and Conversion Summit out in San Diego, California. If you've never been to this event, I highly suggest that you go. And I was cool. I ran into like 15, 20 people that I knew out there. So it's always cool running into all my friends and my peers, my colleagues out there. It's a great event. I highly recommend that you go to Traffic and Conversion. I won't be here next week either, and I'll tell you about that a little bit later. But this week, we're going to be diving in and talking more about building business credit. So last week, we talked about an overview of all the steps of building business credit, a real brief overview. And today, we're going to start decoding and diving into the first step of building business credit. And in our future live streams, we're going to continue this process and continue talking more and more about the actual specific steps to build business credit. By listening to the live streams here, you're going to know exactly what steps to take. I'm available to help answer questions as you're going through the process, and you're literally able to follow this and go through these steps live with me week by week. So you're going to be able to take action on the stuff we're going to talk about today, set up your business credibly to get credit and financing, and then next week you'll even be able to dive in, get set up with the reporting agencies, and so on and so on. So that's exactly what we're going to do in these live streams. We talked about a brief overview of all the steps of building business credit. Today we're going to really decode the first step of building business credit. A lot's changed in 2017. A lot's changed with setting up your business credibly. Things that weren't acceptable before are now becoming more and more acceptable, which we're going to talk about now. The goal today is to help you set up your business credibly to immediately start getting credit for your EIN number that's not linked to your personal social, but also to set up your business credibly so you can get business loans. So if you're either thinking about starting a business or you already own a business and you want to make sure that you're set up the right way to be the most lendable you can be, well, that's exactly what we're going to decode today. Today, we're going to go through, we're going to break this down. I'm going to show you from a lender and credit issuer's perspective what they're looking for when you submit that application. And that's what's important to know. Every line item on an application is scrutinized by lenders and credit issuers. And if you have the right formula per se on your application, then you start to get automatic approvals. But if you don't, then it throws up red flags, you get manual reviews, and you often get denied. You already know that. You've been through this before. More than likely, you've applied for a consumer credit card and got an immediate approval. And then you've got that notice of that they're going to tell you in 7 to 10 days their decision, and it's usually a denial. My goal for you is the automated approval. Today is the very first step in making that happen, and the most important step. It's all about building your business credibility. Marie, good morning. Welcome for coming. So, enough looking at me. Let's go to the whiteboard. Let's dive. Okay, so here we go. So we've already kind of talked about this, and to kind of give you a really quick update here to bring you up to speed, what we're talking about here is building credit for your EIN number that's linked to your business. It's a separate credit profile than your personal credit report, okay? It's completely separate. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to show you in these steps is how to get a bunch of business credit without your personal credit even being supplied with no personal credit check. Obviously, a ton of benefits of doing this. There's no impact on your personal credit. Your personal credit quality doesn't matter when it comes to approval. None of these accounts report on your consumer credit report, so you can use them freely without adversely affecting your utilization. All these will report on this business credit report. There's no personal guarantee. You're not personally liable. You're going to be able to do this really fast. And going through these live streams, I'm going to show you how to immediately start getting vendor credit accounts, how to get high limit store credit accounts in about 60 days. We're going to map out how to get fleet and cash credit in about 90 to 120 days. No matter how bad or good your personal credit is, you don't need collateral, you don't need cash flow to do this. So what I'm going to show you, you don't need to have cash flow. You don't even need to be in business yet. You could just be starting up. You don't need collateral like you do most kind of business loans. Remember, when we've talked before in the past about getting business loans, you have to have one of these 3 C's to get approved. You have to have cash flow, you have to have good credit, or you have to have collateral. Business credit's the only way you can get money for a business through a credit issuer or lending institution without having one of these 3. So if you, for example, are just getting started and you don't have the cash flow yet, or you don't have good personal credit, or you don't have collateral, you're not going to get a business loan at this point. So my goal for you is to make you lendable, and that's what these steps will do. These steps will make you lendable because we're going to build a business credit profile that can then be used for lending decisions, okay? And the high credit limit on these types of accounts I'm going to show you how to get are very high, about 10 to 100 times higher from what SBA says. And you can see some actual approvals here. Very common to see $15,000, $20,000, even $40,000 approvals to get auto vehicle financing all in your business name. So very valuable if you don't have one of these and aren't lendable. But even if you do have one of these, it's very valuable because it makes you more lendable and gets you better terms. And it really doubles your borrowing ability here because what's happening is you're creating a secondary credit profile for your business. Now, that in itself, this is the only legal way to do this. The only legal way you can actually have two credit profiles is to build one under your business EIN. And this is, if you ever have questions about the legitimacy of business credit, you can go to creditsuite.com/legit. You'll see what Experian and NASDAQ and SBA and SCORE and everybody has to say about it. Not only is it legal, they highly recommend that you do it for all the benefits I'm mentioning here. But this is the only way you can actually, what's up, Michael? Thanks for coming. It's the only way you can legitimately create two credit profiles. So it gives you your consumer credit profile and your business credit profile, which really doubles your borrowing ability and increases the value of your company as well. Also makes you more lendable because anybody can see your business credit reports. And we often do this on these live streams. We'll dive in, we'll look at real business credit reports, and you'll see that business credit reports, hey, Marie, thank you for sharing the video. I appreciate that. And Gina, good morning. Because real business credit reports are easy to obtain. Anybody can obtain your business credit without your permission. And it's interesting because we talked to somebody yesterday about a consultation. They said, I don't want you to pull my business credit report. Well, you don't need permission to do that in the business world. People are pulling your business credit all the time, whether you know it or not, which is why you need to make sure you have good business credit. If you ever want to get a loan, if you ever want to get credit card for your business, you've got to do this. Because if you don't, then the quality of your business credit will determine whether you're approved or denied, how much you get, all those type of things. We had a customer a few weeks ago, had a $3 million company, applied for a $10,000 credit card, 700 consumer credit scores got denied because they pulled their business credit report and their score was low because they had no credit. They didn't have anything bad, they just had no credit. So it's very important. So now that you kind of have an understanding of the business, and last week we talked about an overview of doing this, building your credibility, getting set up with the reporting agencies, getting tier 1 credit, tier 2 credit, tier 3 credit, right? And Michael, thank you very much. Thank you both, Marie and Michael, for sharing this. It lets me know I'm on the right track. So today we're going to decode business credibility. There's a lot of things to know about setting up your business. Starting with, first of all, the one thing you need to know, all 100% of business lenders and business credit card issuers all have these standards. They all have standard requirements you must meet to get approved for business credit cards and loans. It's that simple. So once you go through this checklist and make sure you have this criteria met, you're golden. You never need to do it again. But if you haven't gone through this criteria, well, then you're often going to get denied indefinitely into the future and not know why. So I'll tell you exactly. I'll tell you what your accountant and your banker and your attorney and none of those guys will tell you, not because they're mean. They're either not allowed to disclose it, which is the lender's case or bank's case, or they don't know this criteria. But by knowing it, you could set up your business credibly to make sure you have the best chance of getting approved. Has changed into 2017, which is why you need to know this. So first thing, on the application, the best thing you could do is get a business address. It's the number one thing that you could do. Okay, you need to set up your business credibly. A credible business has a real business location. Now, if you don't have a real physical business location, well, then consider a virtual address, okay? If you go to creditsuite.com/virtual, creditsuite.com/virtual, we'll give you a direct link to our source for virtual offices, Alliance Virtual Offices. They're the best out there to help you get a separate address that you can use to help build your business credibility and to also get business credit. Now, just so you know, Virtual offices actually offer a lot of different benefits. You can get access to conference rooms when you need it. You can get access to real office space and just pay for whenever you actually need it. Okay, you can get reception services where you can direct all your phone calls there. It's answered by a professional receptionist and forwarded to you. But you also can rent a mailing address that's a unique address just for you. Now you've got to tell them, and if you go to creditsuite.com/virtual and get on the phone, you have to tell them, look, I was referred to you by Credit Suite. I need a unique address. If you don't do this, they often can give you an address that's shared with other companies, which can create an issue. I just literally got an email today about a guy that did that. So the key is that go to creditsuite.com/virtual, tell them we sent you over there, tell them we sent you over there to get an address for business credit building. Then they'll give you a separate address that's not shared with other people. Here's why that's important. It's important because your business credit reports are linked to your name and your address. And that's why if you go to sources like Uline and Quill to get approved, they won't even ask for your EIN number. Yes, business credit is built under your EIN, but I can pull a credit report from you with only your business name and address, and Experian and the reporting agencies don't even require your address to actually report information to them. With only your business name and address, I'll see if I can pull this up real quick. With only your business name and address, they can companies can report information about you to the reporting agencies. So that's why your address is very important. Your address is very important because, again, what happens is people can pull up your business credit reports only with your business name and address. They can report information about you to the reporting agencies with only your business address. And I'll show you this. I'll show you exactly how this works. So what you're looking at here actually from Experian. This is Experian's requirements to report data to them. This is what you have to submit to report data to them. Now, you notice these highlighted. I'm colorblind, not sure if it's yellow or green, so bear with me. But this yellow or green highlight here reflects what you must send to them. Account number that you have, address, business name, okay, city, state, zip code. You'll see that EIN number is not a required field anywhere here, and it is here, tax ID. So you can see tax ID here is not required to send to them. I can send your data to the reporting agencies with only the highlighted information. My account number, the business name, your address, okay? And then only other things that are required here are the date you open the account and the terms that you're actually paying and how you've paid. That's it. That's it. That's all somebody needs to report you to a business credit reporting agency. They just need this information. So they basically need information here about how you've paid. Okay, they also need to know your business name, the date you open the account, of course, the terms of the account, and just this info. Even your EIN is not highlighted because it's not required field. So this means with only your business name that an address can report or can get information about your company. And if you look at business credit reports, which we often review them, and we will review them in 2 weeks because I won't be on next week, but in 2 weeks we're going to review some real business credit reports, even pull your report if you'd like us to. What you'll find is that I can pull a report with only a business name and address, and the reports don't say creditor names like consumer reports do. They say an industry or a category. So that might say financial services. It might say shipping services. So think about this. Anybody can report information to the reporting agencies with only the terms you've paid them, your business name and address. And when you pull your business reports, you won't even know who the creditor is. You only know the industry that they're in. So because of this, it's very important that you have a unique address that you're using to build your business credit. Because if you use a shared address, then it's very possible that somebody could pull another credit report other than yours and make a lending decision based on that information. So again, if you go to creditsuite.com/virtual, you'll get connected to Alliance Virtual Offices. Tell them we sent you. Tell them you need a unique address. If you can't afford this or don't want to pay for it, then you can use a home address. This is your third option, is a home address. So a home address you look as credible as if a business address or virtual address was used. But never use a P.O. box or UPS address. That will get you denied. So a P.O. box and UPS address will absolutely get you denied if you're coming in and if you are using that on applications for credit or financing. As a matter of fact, if you're using a P.O. box, a lot of applications, they won't even let you submit an application with a P.O. box or a UPS address. So choice one, use a real physical business address. Choice two, go to creditsuite.com/virtual, use a virtual address. Choice three, use a home address. Some sources might not approve you. You might not get approved for as much credit, but it still gives you the best chance of getting approved for the most amount of money. Next thing, business phone number. Now, you need to have a business phone number. Do not put a home phone or a mobile phone on your application. Some sources will still approve you if you use a mobile phone or a home phone. But you want to try to use a voice over IP like RingCentral or a business phone number. Do not use Google. This is something brand new I've never mentioned before. Do not use Google because Google numbers cannot be listed with 411. Not only do you need a business phone number, but you need to have a fax number. It should be toll free. And you've got to get it listed with 411. Well, you can go to places like RingCentral and get a business voice over IP number. And it can also be your fax number, and it can also be a toll-free number. You could get all these in one for like 10 or 15 bucks a month, very cheap. You can use a lot of other voice over IP services, but do not use Google because for some reason Google will not be able to be listed with 411. And the listing with 411 is very, very, very important. Now, believe it or not, you can't go to 411 and just list your phone number. That's why lenders and credit issuers look at it. You can't fake it. Okay, you either have to know how to get listed with 411 or most people don't. So businesses in their infancy don't usually know how to do this. So credit issuers and lenders look for a 411 listing because most people can't fake it. Now, if you want to get listed with 411, there's a couple ways you could do it. You build your business and organically, as you put your number on Yellow Pages, Bing, Yahoo, Google's places for business, they all have free places you can go to list your business. Well, then eventually 411 will pick that up and you'll be listed. If you go and do a 411 search and you're not there, you can shortcut this process by paying a company to do this for you. There's several options out there. We use a company called List Yourself. And List Yourself, I think, is like 30 bucks a month. They're like 300 bucks a year. You can also use a service called Yext, Y-E-X-T. They're about 500 bucks a year. You can also use D&B's Credit Builder. And if you buy another product from them and you're a veteran, they'll do it for you for free. Otherwise, their credit builder is pretty expensive, $1,500 to $2,000. We'll talk more about them in 2 weeks. You might not want to choose that option, but it at least gives you options. So if you're not listed with 411, go to Bing, Places for Business. Go to Google. Go to Yahoo's Places for Business. They all have them. It's all free. List your business information. Get it listed with some Yellow Pages. You'll probably show up in 411 shortly after. If you don't want to do that, want to go faster, then use List Yourself. They're phenomenal for this. We've used them for years. We love them. They do a great job. If you want to do another service to also make sure all your listings are congruent online, use Yext. Use D&B's Credit Builder. Those are some other options for you as well. Whenever you choose, set up a business phone number. Try to stay away from mobile or home phones. Some sources will still approve you if you do nowadays. That's a change, but a lot of places won't. Make sure that you have a website and professional email address set up. You never want to leave this blank on an application. And if you think about this, guys, isn't this common sense? I mean, if you're applying for credit and you have a home address and a cell phone and no website, how credible are you really? I mean, who wants to give you credit if you have no business credit established already, if you don't have any credit with these guys, and you're trying to get new credit with a home address, a cell phone, and no website, then it doesn't make you look legitimate enough to get credit. And that creates a problem in step 3, which we're going to talk about in a few weeks. So get a professional domain. Okay, you can do that at GoDaddy. It's very cheap, about 12 bucks. They give you the email address with the domain nowadays for 12 bucks. And don't get something like partydude at Gmail. Don't get anything at Gmail, nothing at AOL, nothing at Yahoo. It needs to be professional. So our email address, for example, is info@creditsuite.com. That's professional. It goes with our domain. You need it to be a professional email address. You don't want it to be anything Yahoo, Google, any of those extensions. You need to have a website. You don't want to leave it blank on an application. It just doesn't make you look credible. Okay, now when you do that, you can get a website domain, $12 at GoDaddy. You can go and get a website template at a place called templatemonster.com. You can get one for about $50 to $100. It's super cheap. And then you can also go to upwork.com or Fiverr, Fiverr, Fiverr or Upwork. And then at Fiverr and Upwork, you could basically pay somebody to put your website up for $50 to $100. So for literally $100 to $200, you can get a really nice website up. And I recommend you do this before you start applying for credit and financing. Because if you don't, well, then the problem becomes that you're going to have a lot of places that you're not going to look credible. You may not get approved, or you may not get approved for as much money. Again, some sources may still approve you, but those are factors you really want to look at. They tie to your credibility, and they will tie in with whether you get approved or denied and how much you actually end up getting. Another factor once you've done this is you need to make sure that you get your business name set up, that name's available in your state, that the website domain is available, and you also want to stay away from any kind of restricted industries. Now, if you go to and actually, I'll probably show this right now because I actually have a slide from a webinar. But we just actually ended up doing a webinar Tuesday on this. And when we did the webinar, I actually pulled up this list, which I'm going to show you right now, which has to do with restricted industries. And there's really two kind of restricted industries. There's industries that will pretty much almost get you an immediate decline. Okay, hey Brian, thanks man, I appreciate that. And then there's other industries that won't necessarily get you immediately declined, but what they will do is they will make underwriting harder for you. You will have more stringent underwriting guidelines. I'm going to pull up some of those lists for you right now. Okay, let's take a look here. So here's some restricted industries. These are industries that will pretty much get you an immediate decline if your name indicates or your SIC code indicates you're in them. Ammunition, weapon sales, bail bonds, check cashing agencies, energy, oil trading, okay, finance, banks, foreign banks, anything to do with banks, mortgage bankers, mortgage brokers, real estate agents, real estate investors, gaming, gambling, loans, pawn shops, political campaigns, public administration, IG, city, county, state government, X-rated products. Okay, and for those of you that just joined us when I just said X-rated products, you're like, yes, I'm on the right stream. Okay, then we've got these ones. These ones won't get you an immediate decline, but they're going to have more stringent underwriting guidelines. Agricultural or forest products, auto recreational sales, courier services, computer software, dry cleaning, entertainment, general contractors, gas stations, healthcare, trade contractors, hotels, jewelry sales, limousine sales, long distance over-the-road trucking, mobile or manufactured home sales, phone sales, real estate agents, brokers, real estate developers, restaurants, software, taxi cab. That's a pretty good of a lot of industries that are high risk. Now, some people ask me, why are these industries high risk? I got no freaking clue. It depends on a lot of factors, but a lot of credit issuers and lenders will tell you it's because those industries have a history for defaulting more than others. And sometimes it's just because of other risks. Like real estate agents are high risk because you only have a few deposits in a month. So if you don't sell a home that month, then that consistent revenue isn't coming in. They all have different reasons for being high risk, but now you just got a chance to see a lot of the restricted industries or the industries that are just prohibited. Now, here's the thing. Don't worry if you're in one of those industries. Just understand it's harder for you to get approved than it may be if you're not in one of those industries. So if you have a choice, are credit company, repair companies high risk? Gambling, Brian, yes. Marie, yes. Credit repair companies are high risk, but understand why. You're considered to be financial services. A lot of people in credit repair say, man, everybody hates this word, high risk everywhere. Well, in the lending world, you're only high risk because you're considered to be financial services. You're high risk, mortgage brokers are high risk, real estate agents are high risk, banks are high risk, we're high risk. Anybody that deals with financial services is high risk. Actually, we're not high risk. And the reason we're not high risk is we chose an SIC that reflects that we're a software company, because we are. If you know what we do, we sell software that helps people build business credit and get financing and to offer both as a service. So we chose an SIC that has to do with software, which helps us avoid a lot of this. Something to think about. So try to go with a general consulting type of SIC. Make your name as general as possible. When your name or your industry reflect you're in one of these, it's going to be tougher for you to get credit and loans. It doesn't mean you won't get approved. It just means it can be tougher. It's tougher on loans than it is on credit. Even if you're in one of these, you could probably still get business credit, but getting loans is going to be tougher. But the main point of this is, if you're in the beginning and you're just choosing your business name, try to choose a neutral name. Try to keep credit and loans and real estate and all these things out of your name, because if they don't, then that can throw up a red flag when you apply and make it harder for you to get approved. Doesn't mean you'll definitely be denied. So Marie, for example, we've approved a lot of credit repair companies for loans, but it's not easy. We haven't talked to one credit repair company that ever went out to a merchant cash advance lender and got approved by themselves. But because we have to pull in an exception and we say, hey, look, we do a lot of loans with you guys, we get some of those done. So it's not to say we can't get them done. A very good friend of mine just finished securing an SBA loan, and he is in credit repair. So it's not impossible to do. It's just harder to get approved if your SIC or name indicates you're in one of those industries. So if you're in the starting stages, well, it's harder to do. In his case, he's been open for many years. He has tons of money in the bank. He's got collateral. He's got great credit. So he's got so many factors that overcome the industry he's in that he can get approved. Just keep in mind, it's harder to get approved if you have a choice. Try to keep these things out of your name. It's going to give you a better chance of getting approved. You also want to make sure you set up your entity, and you want to make sure that you choose a corporation or an LLC, not a sole proprietorship and not a partnership. Why? Sole proprietorships and partnerships, you are the business. You and the business are the same. So it's hard to separate your liability when you and the business are the same. But a corporation or LLC, you're separate. This is where you are over here. Your corporation or LLC is your business, and you are here as an individual. Your two are completely separate. Not only can you build a credit profile separate, but your liability is separate. But if you're a sole proprietorship or partnership, you and the business are the same. You're the same. So what happens here affects you personally, and that's for a couple different reasons. First of all, you're going to be liable for the credit and financing you obtain. But even more important, man, somebody sues your business, they sue you too as an individual. And I can tell you from a father of two little kids that I would never expose my family to what's going on in my business if you don't have to. So choose an LLC, choose a corporation, and then you can truly separate yourself from the business. It gives you the best chance of separating your liability, where if the business has any problems, it doesn't affect you, whether it be a lawsuit or whether it be the fact that you default on credit you obtain through these steps. Now, that being said, let me kind of give you two disclaimers. First of all, just because I'm showing you how to do this doesn't mean that you should be some crooked person that goes and builds a bunch of credit for your EIN and then just defunks on the whole thing. That's just messed up. Don't do that. There has to be ethics in what I'm showing you here. You have to get credit with the intention of paying it to help yourself build your actual credibility. It's very, very important that you do that. Hey there, Elaine. Thanks for coming. So just keep that in mind. You want to do this in an ethical way. You don't want to just get credit that you know you're going to default on. That's just not right. But you want to choose the right entity for your business that separates the liability, so you keep your personal finances and business finances separate. And again, if you go to creditsuite.com/legit, LEGIT, you'll see SBA, you'll see NASDAQ, you'll see Experian, you'll see Inc. and Entrepreneur and Score and all these authorities that talk about the exact same thing. Why it's important that you separate this business and personal credit. So the next, you need to make sure you have proper licensing. So if you are, for example, required, if you're in credit repair, as was mentioned earlier, I think by Marie, if you're in credit repair, well then, for example, if you're required to have a bond in the state, you need to have that bond. You need to have the proper licensing. Now, in a lot of cases, they may not know this. In a lot of cases, they may. It depends on the creditor and the lender, but it's best that you have the proper licensing in place. And you also need to make sure that your listings are congruent online. Everything's the same. And here's this Yext or sign up. My writing is horrible. SYNUP. Sign up or Yext. I use Yext. Here's the deal, and this is mind-blowing. The number one reason that we found that banks turn down applications is because when somebody applies, the name they find on the application is not exactly the same as what they find online in places like the Secretary of State. So first of all, you don't usually need a DBA unless you need some other entity set up or some other business name set up to do a different kind of business than your main. It's very rare that you do. But if you do have a DBA, your DBA needs to be involved in your actual business name you put on the application. You have to be easy to find. You can't go applying and then try to, and for everybody that's liking this and sharing this, thank you guys very much. It lets me know I'm on the right track. You can't go applying for credit and not under a DBA when it's not even your real business, when your other business is your real business name. So we're Credit Suite, for example. If we create a DBA, Sweet Credit, well then we couldn't apply under Sweet Credit because they couldn't find us. They wouldn't even know it's linked to us. We would have to put Credit Suite, DBA, Sweet Credit. You've got to do that. And thank you guys very much. Wade, thank you for sharing and thank you guys for the likes. It's really appreciated. You can't do that. So the bottom line is that you need to put your full business name on the actual application you're applying, and it needs to be the same name they find online. Remember what I told you, that credit is linked to your name and business address. So if I go to pull somebody's credit report, which I will in 2 weeks, I'll pull yours if you're on here if you want to. I won't be here next week. I'll be off our live stream, but the week after I will be, and we'll be looking at real business credit reports. If you want your pulled, show up and we'll actually review yours. So that being said, you've got to make sure that your name is and your address is correct everywhere they look, because what happens is your business is linked to that on your credit reports. If I type in your business name only, then it will pull up all businesses with that name. And then if I have your city and state, I can find your report. So again, the reporting agencies, the Secretary of State, with everybody, it's very, very important that your information be congruent on your application and everywhere else online. Tiara, good morning. Thanks for coming. I'm glad you're learning. Marie, are you able to check business credit profiles today? No, I'm not going to do that today, but I will do that in 2 weeks. I promise you I will. For a few minds. So if you're here in 2 weeks, I will. We're not going to have enough time to jump into that today, but I will actually pull your business credit report 2 weeks and we'll look at it. And I'll show you how easy it is to get an actual credit report with only your business name and address. So there's several services that do this. Yext is one. Sign Up, SYNUP is another. D&B's Credit Builder is another. I use Yext. It's about $500 a year. And these services will make sure that all your listings are online and congruent. And the reason we use Yext is we just moved into this office last year. And when we did, man, we had years of our address being something different. So instead of going everywhere we could possibly be listed online, we just paid Yext. We typed in our correct updated information. They updated it with all Yellow Page sources. They updated it with they updated it with everybody. Okay, they updated it with Google and Yahoo and Bing and everyone. So it took us minutes to update all of our information that was out in the world. Now, if you're a startup, this doesn't matter. You're probably not listed anywhere. But if you're not a startup, well then Google your name and see how many places out there have your information. Do they all have the same information or a little bit different? If you see that some of them have different information, it's a good idea to use a service like Yext or Sign Up, because with those services, they'll then take your information, update it everywhere, keep it updated, and that way lenders and credit issuers are always finding the information you want them to find when they go looking for your company online, which they absolutely will do. Jason, thank you very much for sharing. I really appreciate you guys liking and sharing this. It lets me know I'm on the right track. So that's the last point to this credibility. Okay, a point that's probably not nice for me to point my marker at you like that. So it's the last point of this credibility is to make sure your listings are congruent. Let's look at this. Make sure you have a legitimate business address, preferably a real physical business address, a virtual address at creditsuite.com/virtual to get the best virtual address, or a home address at absolute last resort. Use a real business phone number or use a voice over IP like RingCentral. Do not use Google because they don't list with 411. You should also have a fax number to toll-free number, and you need to get the phone number listed with 411. We use RingCentral for this. Get your website and email set up. You can do that at a place like GoDaddy. A domain and email cost about $12 to do. Never use an email like partydude@gmail or anything else with Gmail. And hey, D, thank you very much for sharing. I really appreciate that. That's awesome of you to do. Do not use Gmail. Do not use Yahoo. Do not use anything other than a professional email. Ours is info@creditsuite.com, for example. Set up your business name. Try to stay away from those high-risk industries we talked about. Make sure your name's available in your state. Make sure the domain's available for that name too, especially if you're just setting up your company. Make sure you choose a corporation or an LLC. It's the only way to really do this. If you choose a sole proprietorship or partnership, you and the business are one and the same. If you choose an LLC or corporation, you'll see these two are separate. Then you can build a credit profile linked to your business where you're not personally liable. If you're a sole proprietorship or a partnership, you will be personally liable, and you can also be sued for what happens in your business. So my advice is you choose a corporation or LLC. If you're already a sole prop or a partnership, my advice is to change. Okay, licensing, make sure you have proper licensing in the state, and make sure you're easy to find online, that you are congruent, that all your information is listed online congruently. We use Yext for that. You also should make that your utility statements, your bank statements, your Secretary of State, your IRS, it all has the exact same address. The IRS has a simple form. If you put change business address IRS into Google, you'll download their form. It's real simple to change your address with them. You can go to your Secretary of State. It's real simple to change your address with them. Your bank, your utilities, that's a simple phone call. But make sure that all your stuff is congruent with the same business name, the same business address, the correct EIN. Make sure it's all the same. This is the stuff that lenders and credit issuers look for. Wow, a lot of stuff. Bottom line is, guys, I just gave you the inside secret formula that lenders and credit issuers look at to determine whether they're going to approve you or deny you for credit financing. You make sure you meet these criteria, then you're going to start to get approved for business credit, and it's much easier for you to get approved for loans. So I will not be here next week. I'm actually taking a couple days off, actually, surprisingly, at the end of the week. Something I rarely do, but my kids have spring break. We have an RV, so we're going to go to Disney campgrounds for a few days. Please don't hate me because I'm off. I will be here the next week, and in the next week, we're going to jump to step 2 of building your business credit, and we're actually going to be talking about setting up with the reporting agencies, Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian. I'm going to be telling you how to see if you have anything reported with them now, so you know if you do, okay, how to find out what that information is, and how to fix it, how to fix bad business credit if you have damaged business credit, okay? Michelle, thank you very much. Michelle Harris, thank you very much for sharing. I really appreciate all these shares today. It's like the most shared stream I've ever done. I appreciate that. We are also going to be reviewing real business credit reports with you. Hopefully, I'll be able to review your Experian, possibly Credit Safe. Okay, Experian does not like that we are in the credit building space, so I think we are about to lose our ability to look at those reports. But I have a lot of other reports from them we can review, and I'll be reviewing Credit Safe, and we'll be doing that in 2 weeks, Thursday at 11 o'clock, 2 weeks from today. We'll be looking at business credit reports. I'll show you what's on there. I'll show you how easy they are to get. I'll pull some of your business credit reports. I have no problem looking at as many business credit reports as we can fit in, and I'll show you how to get set up with the reporting agencies and how to fix damaged business credit. We're going to do that in 2 weeks, Thursday at 11 o'clock. Then the week after that, we're going to start talking about how you get real business credit cards that are linked to your EIN number, not your social. And I'm going to start walking you through the 3 different tiers of business credit: the starter tier, the store credit tier, and the fleet tier, the cash credit tier, the auto vehicle financing tier, which I kind of put all in one. So that is going to be what's going to be coming up. In 2 weeks, we'll be diving into the business credit reports. If you're just coming in, a lot of people are just pouring in right now. Go back to our Facebook page, facebook.com/credit suite. You can watch this video in its entirety, get all the information from there. And also, don't forget a free guide on building business credit. Go to creditsuite.com/Facebook. And you can get a free guide that maps out business credit. If you want to get a free copy of your business credit report and see how we can expedite your business credit building, schedule time with us to talk more. creditsuite.com/consult. creditsuite.com/consult will give you a free copy of your credit report, talk to you more about expediting your business credit building. If you want to follow along and do this on your own, go to creditsuite.com/Facebook. There you can get a free guide on building your business credit. Peace out. I'll see you in 2 weeks where we're going to be decoding business credit reports, going through them, pulling yours, reviewing others, showing you how to get set up with the reporting agencies, how to see if you have credit for free with the reporting agencies, and how to fix damaged business credit. And I'll show you actually on real reports what damaged business credit looks like, what it looks like when it's fixed, all those things in 2 weeks from today, Thursday at 11 o'clock. Thank you all very much for coming. Thank you for liking and the loves and all the cool things that happened. Thank you very much for the shares. Thank you, Michelle and Dee and Jason and everybody that shared this. Thank you, Tiara. Thank you, Wade. Thank you all very, very, very much. That's everybody Facebook's telling me shared this. Thank you all very much. I'll see you in 2 weeks, Thursday at 11 o'clock. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.